And welcome back to Balancing Unhinged. I am Amber Shah, the Shah of Saint Augustine, and I'm here today with a new special guest named Greg Harris. Greg is a mortgage specialist, so I wanted to have him on the show today to go through our 8 dimensions of wellness, obviously starting with financial wellness, and telling us your story of being a mortgage broker and everything that you've been doing in your life to achieve financial wellness.
Well, how long do we have? 2 hours or 2 days or?
I'm going to give you 5 minutes for this part.
I was in an unrelated business 35 years ago, and I lost my family, and so I had to recover. I got in the mortgage business, and I learned a lot about credit. I learned a lot about how to take care of credit. I learned a lot about how to fix credit once your credit's been damaged for whatever reason. And it's not the end of the world, I can tell you that. So, anyone who wants to buy a house can buy a house. If there's credit issues, it's not the end of the world, and it's not impossible to fix. You just got to want to do it. So, I can talk about that all day long if you want. So
cool. So how about, what do you see are maybe the top 3 things that you've seen where people want to rebuild their credit, and the top 3 things they could do to start rebuilding credit?
Well, of course, pay your bills on time.
Okay.
If you have a collection for whatever reason that's been there for a year, 2 or 3 or longer, don't pay that off until we talked about it. The main thing you can do is, if you've got revolving debt, what you want to do is get that balance down to under 50% of the limit. That'll help your credit score more than you might think. The other thing I'll tell you is, if you have a charge off, then what's happened is the creditor has written that bill off, and for accounting purposes, and not really out to collecting more money. So if they collect $1 on that account, they've got $1 more than they had before than they were counting on. So you can always settle with them. So don't ever pay the bill off in total. You can always negotiate with them and settle. The other thing I'll mention to you is that if they want to set up a payment plan with you, don't do it. Work to settle the debt. You can always negotiate and settle the debt for less than what's owed on it.
I have a great example of that one. Honestly, back in the day, 2008, I had bought a brand new Suzuki Forenza. It was like 15 grand, but I was like, 40,000 a year or something as like a new employee as a recruiter. And I got this $15,000 Suzuki Forenza, traded in my 98 Buick LeSabre. And then I moved in with my boyfriend, who now I'm married to, but he and I, for some reason, decided to voluntarily repo my car after like a year. And I'd gotten in a pretty bad car accident. So that was covered by insurance, got fixed. So I ended up getting my car voluntarily repoed, just like left it in a parking lot near my mom's house for a long time. And then I got a call from the city being like, oh, we towed your car and now it's in the impound. And I said, okay, call the creditor because I don't want the car anymore. And I was trying to figure out, how to get rid of the car without, destroying it, I guess, right, to get my money back. So they wanted like 10 grand or something like that for the car, for the collection. And I ended up settling for $1,400.
Right. So that's more common than you think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, having a car repossessed is more common than you think, and settling on that debt is more common than you think as well. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was surprised. And I don't think that I'm not sure. I don't remember how much it affected my credit, because back then, honestly, my credit was in the toilet when I was 22, 23. So that was when I was 23, 24. My credit was so bad. I had maxed out 4 different credit cards. None of them even had $10,000 on them. Like, they were all like $5,000 credit cards. They were completely maxed out, and like couldn't even get more credit cards. Didn't want more credit cards at that point, and like $50,000 in student debt too. So anyways, number 2, so you said less than 50% to credit.
For revolving debt like credit cards,
okay,
get it to under 50% of the limit.
Because one time we actually had somebody else on the show that was saying 40% is where you want to be.
Well, 50%.
But I guess less than 50% is good.
Less than 35 is even better.
Okay.
The first goal is 50%.
All right, cool. Because especially if you're just swimming in debt already.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Right. Get it less than 50%. Okay, cool. What else?
Pay your bills on time. Everyone's situation is different. Therefore, I tell people, you need to apply. Let's pull your credit and see where you are. I ask people all the time, what are you doing to fix your credit? And they say things like, well, my mom said do this, my friend said do that. I'm talking to a credit counseling company, and I cut them off and say, wait a minute. So you don't know what you're doing, do you?
Mm.
Well, no, I don't. Okay, well, let me help you.
Mm-hmm.
The way I can help you is let's pull your credit and let's see where you are. Maybe you do qualify right now. Or if you don't qualify, at least what we can do is put a game plan together for what you need to do so that you will. Everyone's situation is different, so I don't want to say you need to do this and this and this without knowing what your situation is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's free. Let's get it done so you can buy a house.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, buy those houses, you guys. Buy in Florida.
Right. Everyone else is, right?
Yes. Totally. All right. So then, what else? So just paying on time and just like not skipping your payments. Don't skip your payments.
Right. Don't do that for sure.
Trying to get the credit level between 35 to 50% to your usage. So like if you have a credit card that has like a $10,000 limit, try to keep the spending on that and the total outstanding less than $5,000 down to $3,500 would be great, or less than that. But anyways.
And that's not the case with installment loans like car loans.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about that. Just make the payment on time, but don't worry about getting the limit, the amount owed down to 50% of what you originally borrowed. Don't worry about that. It's the revolving debt, like credit cards, is what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right, great. So, and then what have you seen in the industry lately for the health of most of the people in this area? Do you think that we're seeing healthy finances or?
Yes. So I'll tell you, back in the day, 2007, 2006, 2007, 2008, anyone could buy a house. Okay. Didn't matter what your credit was, and there were all sorts of loans out there that were bad loans, and people bought houses they shouldn't have been buying. People bought houses bigger than what they should have bought. People bought houses when they couldn't really even afford it, and because of that, the 2008 crash happened. All right, and as a result, the mortgage market knee-jerk got very tight, and hardly anyone could qualify. Now that's loosened up some, but up to this point, it's loosened up responsibly. Not anybody can buy a house. You've got to be able to qualify, both credit-wise as well as income-wise. You got to qualify.
Mm-hmm.
So, having said that, there's all sorts of down payment assistance programs. There's all sorts of different ways to enable you to qualify for more than what you qualify for now. So, again, it's specific.
Are you familiar with the SHIP program?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you tell me about that? I have a friend who literally just bought a house with the SHIP program. She put $100,000 towards a house.
I'm not real familiar with it because I've heard bad things about it, honestly. That's one down payment assistance program that I've never done one. I've been doing this business for 36 years and never done that one.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, my friend was telling me about it, and then I was like, and you didn't use me as a realtor?
Well.
But anyways. So, and then you're involved with some sort of a health-related program also?
Yeah, actually, I am, yes.
Yeah, so like physical wellness.
Well,
tell me about your physical background.
Well, I will.
Okay.
I was in a car accident myself when I was 19, my 19th birthday, as a matter of fact. I was going to a lake party, and we stopped at a convenience store on the way there, and then the next thing I remembered was about 3 weeks later. I was in a coma for about a week, 7 days. They likened it to a stroke, where my right side was paralyzed. And spent 2.5 months in the hospital, year and a half in physical therapy.
Did your eyes both used to be brown?
No.
This guy's got one blue eye and one like half brown eye or something.
Really,
I love looking at his eyes though.
I'm a strange bird. No, but that's the true story. And both physically and mentally, I went through a whole lot for a good 10 years of that. And so now I appreciate life. I appreciate what I missed, and I'm all about trying to help people not take things for granted, So yeah, I do a lot as far as I love coaching kids. I coach baseball.
You have kids too, right?
I have 3 kids.
Three kids.
They're all grown. I love coaching kids in both baseball and soccer, believe it or not. Never played soccer, but I coached the league soccer.
Oh, that's crazy. I
And
tried coaching little soccer, pee-wee soccer. I was not good at it.
It's like not that way, guys. That way, right?
I'm not good at that. Oh man.
And y'all quit fighting. That's what 5-year-old soccer is all about. But yes, I mean, I'm all about making sure people appreciate what they got, and to work for what they want. And so as far as health goes, yeah, I'm involved in a company called LifeWave, which basically what that is, it's a patch. I've got two in my back right now, the size of a Band-Aid. That basically what happens is your body emits light. The light off your body reflects off the patch, goes back in your body, and generates your existing stem cells, and your stem cells go to whatever part of your body needs help. And I've been doing it about a year. Sleeping much better. Again, due to the accident I had years ago, there's certain things about the right side of my body that don't work the way it used to. I've seen improvements in that quite a bit. I'm working out every day. So yeah, I'm real into health.
Good.
Yeah.
I was also in a car accident when I was 23. Not a coma car accident, but I don't think I was wearing a seatbelt because I think I hit my head on the windshield.
Right.
Like a little. But I also got a really big bruise in my leg, and that got me into EMS training. And I got electroshock therapy to move my blood and my bruise around. And I was like, but I think I might have a stroke one day because I'm not sure.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
So
what's the old saying? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
True.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm all about health.
All right.
Yeah.
Very nice. So, where are your favorite places to go on vacation? We want to talk about environmental health, environmental wellness. I was just talking to my friend about going to Colorado. Oh, last week we were here with Liesl talking about going hiking. Oh, you got married. Yes.
Actually, a year ago in 3 days.
A year ago in 3 days.
In 3 days, yeah.
Coming right up.
Got married in Italy on the Amalfi Coast. Beautiful. I'll never forget it. That's been my best vacation ever.
Very cool.
Spent 18 days over there. It was great. 18
days?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a really nice amount of time.
I also, by myself, probably 15 years ago, went to a mortgage convention out in Palm Springs, California. And after the meeting, I rented a convertible and I took 3 Kenny Chesney CDs and drove 2,200 miles in 7 days by myself.
Yeah.
Without a plan. Didn't know where I was going to stay, where I was going to eat. Best, other than Italy, best vacation I've ever had. It's great.
So cool. Well, when you're by yourself, then you're like, I just got to do everything I wanted.
That's right. That's right. And that's good for you. You get off by yourself. That was great for me.
Yeah.
Getting thoughts together and what I wanted to do, both personally and business-wise. It was good.
Right. I was just talking to somebody today literally about how Palm Springs is my least favorite place ever.
Well, I spent the 4 days in that convention inside the convention.
Yeah.
And
well, Palm Springs is like a desert, really.
Yeah.
With a bunch of resorts.
Right. And when it was over, I got in my car and left.
Yeah. So where'd you go? North or west?
I went north.
East? I mean, can't go west.
I went to the northeast corner of California, then went west to the coast and went all the way down the coast, all the way down to Santa Barbara.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cali trip. That's very cool.
It was great.
West Coast trips are fun. West Coast trips are fun. So then moving on to that's almost like a spiritual journey too.
It was great.
So that kind of ties right into the next subject here, spiritual wellness. Tell us what you do for spiritual wellness. It doesn't have to be super religious, but what do you do to get more within? How do you look within yourself?
That's a deep question.
It is. We're here. The answers.
I would not say I'm religious, but I am spiritual. I have time to myself every day, and I pray to God, and thank God for what I have, and ask God for what I don't have, what I want. Mm-hmm. And I work toward for it. I spend, my opinion is, who knows what's after this life? Because no one who's alive now has experienced what's after life. So, I'll leave it at that. Who knows?
I like it. Okay. I like it. Perfect. So, and then we've got physical, spiritual. Oh, And then there's also environmental, economical, emotional wellness. So you spend time with yourself.
Yeah.
Do you believe in therapy?
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever taken therapy or
I have.
anything like that?
I have.
What kind of work have you been working on? Because I've done so much, right? So I've tried a clinical psychologist, a hypnotist. Now I have a holistic counselor, and I meditate and stuff like that. So.
Well, my wife and I went through counseling before we got married.
Yeah.
I've gone to counseling myself because everyone has problems, and I went try to work out my problem, and man, it was useful. It was useful. And years ago, I went through a counseling session, if you will, that lasted 4 months, where the first week was noon to midnight every day, and then on Saturday and Sunday was 7 a.m. to midnight. A week off, and then Sunday through Monday of the next week it was 7 a.m. to midnight every day. And
with a counselor?
With a group.
Oh.
And then a week off, and then 3 more months worth of 24/7 while we lived our lives.
Oh wow!
And that we could talk about that for hours.
Yes.
But that was,
That's like Simon Sinek's always talked about the finding your why, right?
Can I tell you about the first thing we did?
What?
So there's 77 of us in this class, and no one knew anyone else. So we're all in the waiting room, waiting for something to happen. And everyone, of course, is checking each other out, trying to figure out who's who. And all of a sudden the doors open, and we go into this big room, size of a basketball court, where there's a front door, back door, no windows, indoor-outdoor carpet, and very light mobile chairs that you could easily pick up and move around. There's 77 chairs in a big circle.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman that ran the thing was probably 5'0", 105 pounds, mean as a witch. But she said, everyone sit down, okay? When the music starts, and they have a great PA system, go around and you can say when you just mingle around, when you meet with someone, you can say one of 3 things. Either I trust you, or I don't trust you, or I don't know enough to know if I trust you. Mm-hmm. And you can't say, hey, how's it going? All you can say is, and this is a complete stranger you've never talked to before, mm-hmm. You're saying this to. And the response had to be, thank you for caring about me, to be honest with me. And then you go and you meet someone else. And so we did it for 15 minutes, and the girl said, stop. Now think about why you said you trusted them. Do you want their approval? Why you say you don't trust them? I mean, are you not a trusting person, or what? Just think about that for a minute. And to think about how you felt when they said they didn't trust you. Were your feelings hurt? How did you feel when they said they trusted you? Think about it. Okay, do it again. So we did like that for like an hour. And everything we did for 4 months was built on what we'd just done before. And we went through so many things that are hard to believe.
Very cool. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was great.
It's a weird icebreaker. Walking up to random people and it's like, I'd be saying that third thing. I don't trust you. I don't trust you enough to. I don't know you enough to think that I know that I trust you.
Yeah.
I probably say that to every single person I meet for the rest of my life.
So and think about why do you say that? Mm-hmm. That's what the whole 4 months is all about.
Yeah, it's like when I was a recruiter and I would tell people to get ready for their interview. I'm like, make sure you wear a white shirt or a pink shirt or a light blue shirt because people will trust you more.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 'Tis written.
I'll tell you the one thing, long story short, the reason I went to this was because I met a guy for a loan and I was late. He would not get over it. Mm. So after 10 minutes, it was like, Bill, man, I said, I'm sorry now. Are we talking about your loan or not? And so he taught me to go into this thing. And the number one thing I learned was to be on time. Mm-hmm. So, if you go to a meeting, if you meet someone at Panera Bread, and you walk in, even if you're early, if they're already there, very subconsciously they have the upper hand. It's like, am I late? I'm sorry, right? Mm-hmm. Even if you're not late,
Oh no, I'm always late.
Well, I mean, so the fact is, if you're early, you have very subtle upper hand.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, what was that movie? I don't know if it was Scarface or something else, but like somebody's like sitting somewhere and he's like, all right, make sure I sit here so the lights are behind me. We got to open up the blinds this much so that, and then they like got to set up their whole like environment, you know?
I don't
So
know.
it's like, I mean, if somebody's like meeting you at Panera and they're there first, they're already set up, like they strategically picked out their spot.
Okay.
So that they can see what they want to see, and then you have to see what they make you see, stuff like that. So that's why.
Well, I mean, what I learned from that training was, if you're there first, you have the brain.
Oh.
You know.
Yeah.
And now the training was not about getting the upper hand. That's just by the way. If you're there first.
Yeah.
You
Well, it's the human experience, just like stuff that you end up, you know. It's a very subconscious thing. There's lots of conscious stuff that goes into meeting people, you know. And then, you know, like wearing different colors. So like even like, say for example, if you're a man, so when I was a recruiter, I used to train people, if you're a man and you know you're interviewing with a woman, you should wear a light pink shirt.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, to be like Elizabeth submissive. So that she can know that she can be in charge of you.
Okay.
Because if I think that I can't be in charge of you, I can't hire you to work for me.
So should I wear pink?
No, you're not getting hired by me today. We're not. But if you want to get your real estate license and join my team, that's fine.
Okay.
I don't mind. All right. So
I've done that, by the way. I was a realtor one.
Yes. Oh yeah, you said. How did you like that? You didn't like that.
Didn't like it.
No.
Didn't
Why
like
not?
I was young.
Yeah.
And it was all about me and making that commission. And hey, Mr. Buyer, quit wasting my time. Buy the house. I get paid. You know, I was young.
That is.
Didn't do that right.
Man, there was something I was going to say earlier. I forgot. But that's like the thing. You get 2 ears, and 1 mouth. You should listen twice as much as you talk.
Yeah.
But when you're a realtor, you got to pretend like you have no fucking mouth. Just don't say anything. Because one thing that I learned almost immediately when I became a realtor just over a year ago, but it said the thing that I read or whatever. If you say stuff about the house, all right, so say I walk into a house and Greg wants to buy this house, but I walk into the house and I say something about the house, then as soon as I say it, you're going to think it, right? You know, don't think about the pink elephant. You're going to start thinking about the pink elephant. So if I walk into the house and I start giving my opinion about a house that's going to belong to you, like, why do you care about my opinion? You know, so most of the time you're going to take my opinion, you're going to turn that in some way, you know, and then you're going to be like, oh, well, you know, this is a good house for her, not me. Right? So that, you know, your realtor goes, oh, I love the, you know, fan in here or something. You're like, yeah, you like it.
In other words, be quiet. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I do end up, you know, I put my foot in my mouth all the time, obviously, which is why I'm in this position, but whatever. So,
okay.
You know, and yeah, you just have to reflect. So I think that, and you know, one of the best things about going to these kinds of meetings and meeting with groups like this and asking and answering reflective questions is being able to think about stuff that you usually don't think about. And then realizing, oh shit, it was all about me. I was just keeping up with the Joneses. One thing that I hate is hearing about people's success. Sometimes, you know, it's like great to hear about somebody's success, but what I'm saying in that way is the keeping up with the Joneses. You ever heard about the Jones effect? Mm-hmm. So I used to get trained on the Jones effect. They're like, all right, go sell these things to all these people and make sure they know that all their neighbors bought them too. So they know it's the most popular thing around. Everybody should have one. I'm not that kind of person. If I know everybody else has it, I don't want it. You know, like iPhones, I don't do that. You know, but like, so there are a lot of people that love that and they get jonesed all the time. I mean, I jones for certain things sometimes. You know, you see something, your friend just bought like a new Range Rover or whatever. You're like, oh shit, that's nice. You know, I want a Range Rover. That sounds fun.
I have been there myself.
You know what I'm saying? Keeping up with the Joneses and just seeing like what other people are doing and trying to keep up with them and then being jealous that, you know, your teammate or coworker or other realtor that you know, you're like, oh, they just closed 3 deals this week, but I only closed 1 this month or something like that.
I'll see what I learned.
And then trying to figure out what is the secret sauce to whatever.
There was a time where I tried to be the person that whoever I was talking to wanted me to be.
And a chameleon.
And that's a terrible thing to do. So now I'm like, I'm me. Some people will love me because I'm me. Some people won't like me at all because I'm me. And what they think of me is on them, right? So, I am who I am. And hopefully you like that. Hope you like me and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
But if it doesn't, nice to meet you. Good luck. It's okay. Next.
Yeah.
So,
And it's all about, controlling what you can control, they say, right, too? So I like to control my environment. And one of the hardest things with some of our lives can be boundaries, right? Like we want to be people pleasers. We want people to like us. We want this, that, and the other thing we want. We pray to God that this person's going to wake up tomorrow and love me or decide to buy from me or change their mind about whatever,
and that very, very rarely works out.
It does not.
It did with my wife. That worked out.
Yeah.
But normally it doesn't work.
Well, you have to be willing to do the work too, because I was talking to somebody recently about a relationship that they were in. And I was like, you really have to think about this, because if you really think about it, you can see that the other person is like gaslighting you all the time or whatever, or, just like basically, but also, if you're disagreeing and you're not aligned, if you're not aligned, and then one person's trying to force one round peg into the square hole, stuff like that,
right?
It's just not going to work, So if the square wanted to become a circle, it could try.
Never
I don't know if we're going the wrong direction with that one, but anyways, we're going to keep working on that metaphor. And
okay, all right.
But in the meantime, one last thing I wanted to talk to you about was the Impact program, I think. Is that what it was called? There was like a health-related thing that you were working on? Because we were talking, when I met Greg, we were at a networking event, and we were talking about how I was involved with all these things and all the health-related stuff too. And then he said that he's actually involved in some sort of like a health, not insurance. We don't want to call it insurance. Sharing. I want to call it sharing programs, something like that. But it's all new to me. But it sounds really interesting. Because maybe you can explain it better.
Well, it's fairly new to me too.
Okay.
It is an alternative to health insurance. It is health coverage.
So are we talking? I don't know. Excuse me if I'm saying the wrong thing, because I absolutely don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out. Privatized healthcare, is that what that is?
No, it's all right. It is health coverage. It's another word for health insurance. The difference is, Impact has close to 18,000 members.
Mm-hmm.
They all pay premiums, and those premiums go towards paying the coverage for whatever is needed.
So the premium that they pay regularly, like a monthly basis, right? Sort of like if you were to pay monthly for health insurance. Yeah. And then it covers certain things, just like health insurance would cover certain things.
It covers everything like health insurance does, and then some.
Okay.
It's actually it's.
But then, if I was to go to the doctor with it, if I was going to go to the doctor with it, do they take the information from you just like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I've got an Impact card in my pocket.
Yeah.
In my wallet.
All right. So it's very similar to health insurance, but it's like a health sharing. It's just like a new word.
It is, for lack of
changing the word.
It is health insurance.
Did I ask you about this? Could it be like a secondary, or like could you have that and something else? Would it be able to cover the rest?
You can, but you don't need it. I mean, this takes the place of health insurance. There are a few things that I'll tell you real quick about it. First of all, there are no networks. You can go to whatever doctor or hospital you want to go to. Okay, it's less expensive by a long shot, and the coverage is better for anything and everything. So, for example, I've got a good friend who had cancer 10 years ago. He's been cancer-free for 10 years. He can get coverage with Impact, even though he had cancer in the past. So anything that you had, as far as health issues are concerned, that you've not had in the last 3 years, is like you never had it.
Okay. Well, I guess I don't have any like terminal illnesses or whatever. So if I had previously had cancer and I wanted to get a new health insurance, they wouldn't take me?
Well, it'd be rated.
Oh.
And I'm not a health insurance agent.
Okay.
So I'm not licensed to talk about that. But you know, with Impact, there's a whole lot more advantages that we can get into a deep conversation about that too. But
maybe we're gonna have to save that for the next episode because I
Okay.
have to wrap it up here. It was great to have you on.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you so
Appreciate
much
it.
for
Thank
coming.
you. Appreciate it. My pleasure. Thank you.
We'll see you next time.